Welcome to the House of Maths. Today I'm going to look at the cosine rule, and in particular a proof for this rule. In subsequent videos I'll show you how to use the rule to find angles and sides. Okay, so first thing we've got to remember is that the cosine rule is for non-right angled triangles. So here we've got a non-right angled triangle. All I'm going to do to start with is just label up the angles and sides. So I'm going to call this one A, B and C. So these are in a sense going to be the angles. So opposite that angle B, we've got side B here, opposite this angle A, side A, and opposite this angle C, we've got side C. And then all I'm going to do, a bit like I did with the sine rule, which you can see in a previous video, I drop a perpendicular from B down to side B, and I'm going to call that H, and this creates two right angle triangles, one there and one here. And I'm going to label this length here on this triangle, I'm going to call this R. Okay, just like that. So R is just this length here, B is full length. So if we look at this triangle here to start with, what we can say here is, using SOHCAHTOA, we can say that sine A equals opposite over hypotenuse, like so. And all I'm going to do here is to rearrange it so that I get H equals. So I'm going to multiply through by C, and that will give me H equals C sine A. And I'm still concentrating on this triangle here, and I'm going to do cos A. Again, remember from SOHCAHTOA, cos A is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's R over C. And then I'm going to rearrange that so that I get R equals C cos A. Now, I'm going to leave this triangle behind now, and I'm going to look at the other triangle here. And what I'm going to use here is Pythagoras. So if you remember, Pythagoras says that this side squared plus this side squared is going to equal this side squared. So I've got this side here, H, so I can say H squared, but I haven't got that side here. So hopefully you can see that this side is B, and if I subtract R from it, that will give me that one. So that is B minus R. So I've got H squared plus B minus R squared, and that should equal this one squared, A squared. Now if you notice, in here I've got an H and I've got an R. Well, I've got an H over here equals this, and an R equals this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to substitute these into this equation here. So H is going to be C sine A, and remember that's squared, plus here we've got B minus, and R is now C cos A, and that also is squared, and that equals A squared. So let's multiply out these brackets. Here it's a little bit easier, it's just going to be C squared and sine squared A. Now here we've got to be a little bit more careful multiplying this out. If I just go over to the other side and show you what it looks like. Remember, if this is squared, what it basically means is we've got B C cos A, and it's just times by itself. Okay, like that. So when we come to multiply it out, we're going to do b times b, which is b squared, Then we're going to do b times this, which is going to be minus bc cos A, and then we're going to do this one times this, which is going to be minus bc cos A, and then we're going to do this one times this one. Now remember, this is a negative times a negative, which will give us a positive. So we're going to get plus c times c, which is going to be c squared, and then cos squared A. Now we can simplify this because the two middle terms are the same. So we've got b squared minus 2bc cos A, and then plus c squared cos squared A. So I've multiplied this bracket out here to get this. So I'm going to put this in here now. So I've got plus b squared minus 2bc cos A plus c squared cos squared A, and that equals a squared. Now I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. Now hopefully you can notice that we have in here, we've got c squared here and c squared here. So what I'm going to do with those, I'm just going to factor that out. So I'm going to pull c squared out as a common factor, and I'm going to still have sine squared A and plus cos squared A. Okay, that's factored out. We're still left with this. So plus, I haven't done anything with that, b squared minus 2bc cos A, and that equals a squared. Now, this bit in brackets we've seen before in a previous video that I've done on trig identities. If you've not seen that, I'll put a link below and you can check this out. But you should be aware that this cos squared A plus sine squared A equals 1. So I'm making use of that identity. So I can replace this by 1. So we end up with c squared plus b squared minus 2bc cos A equals a squared. And what we've got here is the cosine rule. Now obviously in that form it's going to enable you to work out a side. Okay, notice that you've got an angle in here, cos A, and what you're going to find is side A. So if you imagine that this is your cosine A, it will enable you to find this side over here, and you're going to need to know B and C, which are going to be these sides. Okay, so if you've got two sides and an angle in between them, you can find the opposite side. Now you would have to rearrange this if you were trying to find the angle, for example, cos A. So if you had that side, and that side, you could find this angle. Okay, so that's the cosine rule, and that's the proof for the rule. As I said at the start, I will do some more videos showing you how to use this rule. That to come in the future. Okay, if you like this video, remember to hit the like button, please. Thank you very much.